All right, so we have a 2014 Nissan Juke Nismo RS. It is the turboed 6-speed front-wheel drive. So 6-speed manual, front-wheel drive. Needs a clutch. Clutch was bad. Spun going higher RPMs in second and third. So we just decided to take it out, and it was an aftermarket clutch. I think it says Nissan on it, but it also says Lux. So I don't know if that's who makes them for Nissan. Yeah, it says Nissan Renault here, but that says Lux. So it could be OE. I don't know. Anyway, this flywheel does this goofy thing. Never seen that one before. But just kind of a tutorial on these things. The input shaft actually comes from the transmission on this side. That rests up against the flywheel. And on the Nissans, this goes towards the motor. So that's the flywheel side. Kind of a little bit different than some transmissions. Usually they sit, I'd say, that way so that you have more grab from your input shaft on the transmission side. But this is how Nissan wants you to do these. So I saw one guy that said he thought they were backwards, so he put his in this way. Never saw a result of that one, but the clutch that he pulled out was in there the right way. So we did flywheel, pressure plate, clutch disc, new slave cylinder. This one was smoked and rattly, so did that. But my reason for this is the one lone bolt that I couldn't get that kicked my ass was this. Let's see if I can get you a good video of it right here. There is a bolt that goes to the starter. Oh, damn. This is a horrible video for you guys. But that bolt is on top of the starter, goes through the block into the transmission. That bolt you have to access by removing the intake manifold, which is this guy. Some 10 millimeter bolts and a couple of flanges. I was able to flop the throttle body out of the way with all the coolant lines, evap stuff hooked up to it for the most part. There is a wiring harness clip that is on the very bottom of this thing. Very hard to get to without a long pry tool. Thank you, Snap-on, for making that. And then this boot is pretty stiff, so trying to wiggle it up through here with this on, or in here still, and not get anything in there, because mine was full of rocks and all kinds of crap. You can see this is not clean, but just fold all the boots up out of the way, was able to wiggle it up. Took me a little bit of time, but still got it out. But yeah, that bolt on top of here made my life hell trying to find out what that is, because I don't have an owner's manual. I don't have all data, any of that stuff to try and figure out where all this stuff is. So I just figured it out as I went. So yeah, clutch is already back in the car, transmission's back in, bolted up, but I figured I would make this video so that somebody that is having the same heartaches I am with this thing could see how this works. So just so that you know, whoever's watching this video, these just pop off of here. So this one goes here, and then this one goes down here. These, you just get a pry tool behind, and they pop right off. The brackets that hold these things on, though, these little plastic deals, if you're able to squeeze down on these right here with a pair of pliers without it breaking, they will pop out. I broke this one. Shouldn't be a big deal once it gets back in, but getting to the bolts that hold that little plastic bracket on, they're covered by the shift cables here, linkages. So I was able to kind of wiggle this one out of the way to get to it, but this one right here was hard, so I had to figure that out. Squeeze it with some pliers, popped out, but it broke the plastic. So yeah, there's a lot to get out of the way to get it in, or get it out of here, but once you get the battery tray out and kind of move all your computer and harness and stuff up out of the way. One thing I did find, the hydraulic clutch line for this comes off the brake booster. So that comes from the reservoir. Once you squeeze that and pop it off of where it goes to the slave cylinder down here, it will just start dripping. So I got it up above the reservoir and it pretty much quit. So that might be a little bit of a handy little deal for somebody. But yeah, there's about 10 bolts. Oh shoot, that died. There's about 10 bolts on this thing. There's one back in here, another one on top here. So there's like just 2 up here, and then the rest are along the side. So 2 for the starter that come from the block side. There's one that you kind of got to get with a long reach through here, and you can see it kind of, damn phone, kind of back in here. It's back there behind those 2 bolts. And then, yeah, just so that this might help somebody else out, you have to pull out the passenger side and driver's side axles. So I was just able to loosen the knuckles from the strut, pull it down, jimmy rig a ratchet strap in here, and I could slide the transmission onto the cradle, which gave me, I don't know, about a 6-inch gap at the most to get that flywheel pressure plate and clutch disc out. The hardest part was aligning it. Once I was able to get the flywheel, the new flywheel in, which was an eBay Clutch Max, I think, kit. So yeah, Clutch Max from eBay. We'll see how that works. Got good reviews. So I got that, and then we are we'll figure this thing out if it works or not. I mean, these things don't make a ton of power or torque, but little turboed cars are pretty fun. But yeah, if you are able to get your transmission back, I was able to get in there, and I think mine was, the kit came with new pressure plate bolts, but these were what were in here before. I think it's a T40 to hold the pressure plate onto the flywheel. And then it was a T55 going through to hold the flywheel onto the motor, onto the crank. So hopefully that helps out a little bit. It is fun aligning that clutch in there with the transmission gap not too big. I had to wiggle it around just to get that to spin and try and get my clutch disc lined up just so that the input shaft from the transmission would go through it and line up right. But got it first stab. Just make sure you get that thing lined up nice. I did mine by looking at the distance between the flywheel and the pressure plate distance up and down, and then did a 180-degree rotation, and that gave me my top gap and bottom gap on that disc, and I was able to kind of slide it to make those look even and then tighten down my pressure plate, and it worked. So had the alignment tool in there and it kind of worked, but you can't see straight on with that transmission in there. So that's kind of a given, but it worked. We'll see how this clutch works out. And I guess good luck to anybody else that has to do a clutch in one of these Nismo RS Jukes at their house. I don't have a 2-post. I don't have all data. I don't have any of that stuff. I literally had a floor jack stands, and some crappy tutorial videos that show just people putting their clutches in, which I didn't do because you can see that, but nobody really shows how all this stuff comes out. So hopefully I can put this up for you guys and it helps somebody not have as much heartache and pain as I had that's just doing this kind of in their garage or backyard. So good luck to whoever else has to do one of these. Hope it works out for you. Thanks for watching.